2.2 day 2, slope of a line. The slope of a line is a ratio of the change in y, which is the rise, to the change in x, which is the run, between any 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2 on the line. So the slope is, we can read the slope as rise over run equals change in y over change in x. We also have a formula for slope, that is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We also can write the slope as delta y over delta x, which is the rate of change. Rate of change again is a change of y divided by change of x. So any line graph, like the blue line you can see is the line that is a positive slope line, and then the red line that is a negative slope line. This is the line that is the vertical line whose slope is always undefined. And then the green line is called a horizontal line, and then the slope of a horizontal line is always 0. You will learn these more about these slopes later in this chapter. So just remember there are few types of line that we need to find slope for. Now we are going to discuss the positive slope and a negative slope. The line rises, so the line rises from left to right. Any line that rises from left to right is called positive slope, and the line that falls from left to right is negative slope. So example number 1, finding the slope of a line. Step number 1, describe the slope of the line. So the line is rising from left to right, so it's going to be a positive slope. Step number 2 is label the points x1, y1, x2, y2. So the x1, y1 is, we assume, is -3, -1. x2, y2 is 3, 4. Let's apply the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So use the slope formula to find the slope. We already have the points. We label them as x1, y1. So all we have to do is now y2 minus y1. So that's going to be 4 minus 1 divided by x2 minus x1. So x2 is 3 and x1 is -3. Then you're going to get on the top is 4 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 3, that is 5 divided by 6. So the slope is 5 divided by 6, and we can see that because it's a rising line from left to right, so the slope is going to be a positive slope, everyone. Now let's just do the try problem, and step number 1 is to describe the slope. The line falls from left to right, so it's going to be a negative slope. And now we are going to label the points. The first point I label as -1, 1, and second point I label as 1, -2. And now I'm going to use the slope formula. So y2 minus y1, which is -2 minus -1, divided by x2 minus x1, so 1 minus 1, so it's going to be -3 over 2. So negative slope because it's falling from left to right. For number 1, we are going to find the slope of a line whose points are 3, 2 and -2, 3. We are going to use the slope formula, that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I label this point as x2 comma y2 and this point as x1 comma y1. So slope formula is y2 minus y1, so 2 minus 3, x2 minus x1, which is 3 minus 2. So on the top you got negative 1, on the bottom is 3 plus 2, that is 5. So negative slope for the line that falls from left to right. For number 2, I labeled the point as x1, y1 for 2 and 1, and next to y2 as negative 4 comma negative 1. Apply the formula y2 minus y1, so negative 1 minus negative 1 on the top, negative 4 minus 2 on the bottom. So the top number become negative 2 and the bottom is negative 6. Cancel the negative and negative, you're going to get 1 over 3 as your answer, and it's going to be a positive slope because it rises from left to right. Now let's do example number 2, finding the slope of a horizontal line. To find the slope of a horizontal line, we are going to use the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I label the point, this one as x1 y1 and this one as x2 y2. So the formula is y2 minus y1, so 5 minus 5, that is on the top, and 6 minus 1 on the bottom. The top one, 5 minus 5 is 0 divided by 7. If the 0 is on the top, then you're going to get the 0 as your answer. And the slope of a horizontal line came out to equal to 0. So slope of a horizontal line is 0. Now let's find the slope of a line, of a vertical line. So I label the point, the top one as x1, y1 and on the bottom as x2, y2. And using the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So 2 minus 6, so 2 minus 6 on the top because y2 minus y1. On the bottom we're going to have x2 minus x1, so 4 minus 4. If the 0 is on the bottom, we call the slope as undefined. So we can say that the slope of a vertical line is undefined. So just remember, slope of a horizontal line is always 0 and slope of a vertical line is always undefined.